quieter form of sin. It's not rooted necessarily in rebellion as much as it's rooted in pride. Jesus tells this part of the story to challenge those who know the rules but are struggling to rejoice when grace and mercy abound. Isn't it interesting when we look at the story of the gospel, the story of Jesus, and it's that all would come to repentance, and yet somehow we don't think it's fair that people get to sit on our pew or with us when we had to work real hard to stay good and they got to come at the last minute. You know, grace isn't fair, and mercy is available to all because Jesus is the one who makes the rules, not me. We talk about grace. You've heard me say this before. God's riches at Christ's expense. Grace. That's the easiest way to understand what it means and what it's about. God paid the price by the gift of his son, Jesus. And so we don't get to say, I deserve, because I didn't deserve it. I don't understand why God would choose to do it that way. It doesn't make logical sense to me, but I'm grateful that he did, because if it was a merit system, I'd be down the line somewhere. And yet he takes a broken and messed up and flawed individual and he says, you are forgiven, and I celebrate that you are one of mine. So how do I learn to celebrate others even when I don't think they deserve to be celebrated? How do I get out of my own way and love people and celebrate the mercy that God has for others? Even, it's easy when I'm the recipient, but how do I celebrate when someone else is the recipient? Pride is dangerous because it can be, it can keep me in close proximity to Jesus, but it can also keep me from really experiencing transformational discipleship that comes from truly knowing Jesus. In other words, I could know all about him, but never truly know him. I could be working for him, but never allowing him to work in me. The older brother, in verse 25, becomes angry and refuses to go inside. Why? Well, because he might be physically near the father, but emotionally he's become distant. You can tell that he's built up animosity, that he might have been frustrated. Maybe he'd be out working in the fields, and on his way home, he'd see his father in the window waiting for his brother to return. And he's like, man, I can't even get a good attaboy, but you're sitting here waiting for my brother to return. He's never coming back, Dad. I'm right here. And we carry with us the emotions of our woundings and our hurts and our challenges. These hurts, habits, and hang-ups, they shape how we see ourselves. And the devil would love to take those, and he'd love for us to say, I deserve, I have earned, I am better, I should. And that pride, that ego, that temptation to think that somehow I have made this happen instead of God's grace and mercy lived out through me as a gift to me. Lord, I just want to pause and pray together right now. Lord, reveal one area in my life where my faith has become routine instead of relational, where I've drifted from a closeness with you and I'm just going through the motions. Lord, don't let my pride keep me close in proximity, but unchanged and unfazed by your grace and your mercy. In your name.